Hey now.
Frame
it. Trick 'em.
Hello and welcome to another player profile and projection here on Talkin Yanks, brought to you by Seat Geek. Today we're talking about Jose Ramon Trevino, an American professional baseball catcher for the New York Yankees of Major League Baseball. Born November 28th, 1992. 15 home runs last year. I think I just read. Four home runs, 15 RBI. That would have been much better the other way. Got hurt. Was playing hurt last year. And then eventually was like, I can't play through this anymore. Sorry, guys. And then left. So that was a bit of a bummer. But his year before that was a bit of an excitement. Where do you stand?
Jim Davis, didn't really put it together till his senior year at Oral Roberts.
Bad name.
Not if you're Roberts. Man, yeah, that was one of the... I remember Trevino being one of the first things from last season that really hurt me deep inside. Because the season's slogging around a little bit. Like, what are these Yanks? Judge had been out. I think it was during, Rizzo. Rizzo was just playing bad, and it was like, no, it can't be related to the concussion. They checked on that. And then they were like, oh, Trevy's going to be out. He's been hurt all year. And it was like, because that's tough because he had a 570 OPS.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. In a proper Yankee year, that wouldn't super matter because Trevy's out there to play defense, catch the ball, trick the umpire. He won the Platinum Glove. That in theory in a normal season you could survive with some of that. But man, the offensive stats are pretty tough. I know he had a tough second half of 2022. So in a way, I was happy that we could point to injury with Trevino in 23, so we can put some of those stats in our rear view. But, I don't know, it's a weird juggle because we have the excitement of Austin Wells, a prospect who we've tracked through the life cycle of Talkin Yanks, first-round pick, lefty, known as a hitter that we didn't think was going to make it to catcher. And as I mentioned, a left-handed hitter where when you look at Trevy's numbers versus right-handed pitching over the past 2 years, not good.
Not good.
Very bad. So, I don't know. We know the Yankees and how they like to play their coy games as we're going through it with spring training, and they'll never announce a true starting catcher because they're going to rotate days and basically as long as they can. I don't know. I just hope they truly make an effort to get Trevy versus lefties. There's no reason Austin Wells should be facing a left-handed starting pitcher this year. And then, I don't know, they kind of did have a good system going with Trevy and Higgy being a late-game replacement if they needed to pinch hit. So if the catcher spot is just fluid as it goes, that should be fine all around.
I like the platoon of them. I like Trevy defensively a bunch. Like, visibly, sometimes there's skill sets they talk about that you're like, I think for a lot of catchers, the defensive run save for catchers, for a lot of them early on, it was like, all right, I guess I just believe the numbers. I don't know the context of he's actually doing that or not doing that. Then you watched Jose Trevino for a season, and you're like, no, that dude is stealing a lot of outs,
a lot of pitches. He's
changing the trajectory of innings by making a 1-1 pitch, a 1-2 pitch, just by framing it nicely. So I thought that was very fun as a catching enthusiast. I enjoyed that. And then he hit, and he had some clutch gene to him. He had said all the right things. He's awesome. Came to office, hung out with us.
Every time a relative had like a historic day, he would have a walk-off. Remember that?
Yep. That was very cool. I appreciated that.
Heartwarming stuff.
It was, playing above the back of his baseball card a ton, and you really wanted him to see him do it again next year. But now we find out he was hurt. So does that not count? I don't know. But I will say I like the platoon. And I like that Wells might split it 50-50. Usually the lefty hitting catcher gets more starts because there's more righty pitchers. I think because Trevino is such a good defensive catcher that he will start versus some lesser righties, I think, or matchups they like, or just to catch Cole or whoever.
We'll have a couple frustrated Talking Yanks where we'll be like, should Wells have gotten the start today? Like, right-handed starting pitching, at least early on in the season, I think.
Yeah. But I think that lessens his burden a little. And I like him coming in late in games, man. I think he's going to thrive in that situation. He stopped the running game really nicely in 2022. 33% caught stealing. The league average was 25. So I think he's got a really nice role. He just needs to be able to get some hits and battle and have good at-bats.
How much does he need to hit? That's the real question, right? Because as much as I say it, like you kind of can't do last year. I mean, 210, 258, 570 OPS. Catching, not a hitting position around the league, but you need more than that.
You know what was interesting about last year?
What's that?
I went to his game log. Pull up his game log on Baseball Reference. And the first month of April through the 27th, now he caps it with a 3-hit day on April 27th. But if you look at just the hit column, it looks like, hey, majority of these 16 games, he had a hit. So then I thought maybe the batting average would be okay. It's 250, which I think is okay for him. But there's no walks and there's not a lot of extra base hits. But it was a little deceiving because I was like, hey, if he can get like on base once every game,
right,
and some of those hits are big hits, that's okay. So I think maybe his April stats, I'd be okay with that if he's doing everything he can from the defensive position, where he ended up, or the April's 27th stat. It's a 669 OPS. The on base percentage stunk. It was 276, 250 batting average. But up until the point, every game he was at least making an inning something, kind of.
Kind of.
He's not going 0 for 5 games in a row.
Yeah, because he swings.
Yeah.
That's where we ended up laughing. Trevy's going to go up there. If it's around the zone, he's going to try to put his barrel of the bat on it, and may the odds ever be in his favor at that point. Even in the game in 2022 when he played 115 games, remember All-Star game? He was catching Nestor, and they were chatting on the field, and we were all in love with it. He only had 62 strikeouts in 115 games, only 15 walks. So he goes up there, put it around the plate, let me put my barrel on it. I don't know. It's an interesting thought. He's 31 now.
Yeah.
How about that? I guess, how about this? His career offensive stats, 241, 272, 636 OPS. I think if you're being an honest Yankee fan, I think you'd sign up for that.
Okay. I think so. If everything else is going right and he's platooning.
That would be the asterisk. If you could get me that, and against lefties, you're an actual threat, I'm in on that. So
maybe that's the stat line you want to look at, is like a threat versus lefties.
Because last year, limited action, 44 plate appearances, 268, 318, a 782 OPS versus lefties. The year before that, in the full season, the year he played a ton, he was 304, 360, 882 versus lefties. So, if you can give me that, yes.
I have run into, I think, something cool, something of note about Jose Trevino.
Massive.
So I was looking at his batting, his profile on Baseball Savant as a hitter, versus pitchers. People know I like doing that. And last 2 years, and last year a counter, it won't count, whatever, but 2022 is a good year. The big change he made from years previous was he crushed off-speed pitches. I don't know if I still have it up. Yeah, okay, so in 2022, he had a 324 batting average against off-speed pitches. That includes changeups, splits, all that. So then I went to find the videos, are these bat-to-ball kind of bloop hits?
Sure.
No, I just watched 10 of the 11 hits. They're 100-mile-per-hour exit velo, and majority of them were with 2 strikes or down in the count. So now I'm going to search. I'm going to search off-speed pitch in the zone when he's behind in the count.
Okay.
That is a area a lot of batters don't thrive.
Right.
So if if he's thriving in there, that's pretty cool, per my opinion.
Okay.
So I'll let you know. I'm pulling it up now.
Update coming. Something I've stumbled into. Every year, the Yankees team forms a new identity. We're learning about new personalities. We know and love Trevi's personality. Doesn't get much better than that. Than the bubbly catcher on the baseball team that kind of looks how you want your catcher to look. He's got the backwards hat going on, just a little meaty. Him and Austin Wells should be boys. Austin Wells sees a lefty come in out of the bullpen. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Trevi sees like a sidewinding righty come in the 8th inning. I'm good. These guys should have a nice little relationship going on.
That's the cool thing about a platoon. I'm going to come in late innings.
Military or baseball?
The best thing about a platoon in the military is the camaraderie. Dig a trench together. You're kind of... That's life. So, yeah, he's good against change-ups when he's down in the count. Just to let you know.
Okay.
At least he'll put it in play.
Sure.
Only one swinging strike last year on a change-up in the zone when he had 2 strikes on him.
Just don't.
I mean, that's bat to ball right there. 2 homers. Take that, Bruce Zimmerman and Kenny Rosenberg.
Kenny Rosenberg. I remember that.
You do?
Lefty for the Halos. Came in and, mowed us down.
Yanks were up 7-1. What was his 92nd pitch?
Yeah. I forget if the starter got hurt or something, but the Halos just, let him roll.
Well, Trevi just took him up top. Good shit, Trevi. I'm rooting for him.
Yes.
I mean, Boone even has a quote here saying, I don't want to underestimate how important I think Jose is to our team and to our clubhouse and what a force he is in our room. So, and he's a positive dude.
Are you worried, and this is less a Trevi thing and more a Wells thing, I guess, but Trevi's got a platinum glove. Guys don't get that. That, I don't know. I don't want to say pitcher anarchy, but pitchers want to throw to Trevino.
Always worried about pitchers wanting a personal catcher.
Sure.
And unless you're Garrett Cole, you shouldn't get one. I can't think of a pitcher not named Garrett Cole on the Yankees that should be given a personal catcher right now. So I think that's something that Wells knows he has to tackle. And they say Wells works incredibly hard at that. And
right.
Boone knows he has to squash.
Yeah.
And well, don't you want the home run Wellesley's going to hit for you? So that's what you got to be able to get in that situation. Perfect formula. Wells in a close game gets 3 at-bats and Trevi comes in for defense. If it's a close game formula, I think you're going to see that in close games a lot. Hey, go get, one of your 3 at-bats, pop an extra base hit, be a threat, get the starter through the game. Trevi's got you from here. I wonder how many, because you don't want to overuse a catcher, but I wonder how many times we'll see that happen.
And it
would have to be close game.
And in general, Boone hasn't been scared to use other managers just are terrified to burn their catchers. Boone's never had that worry. So I think they'd go to that.
Syndergaard gave up 5, 2.1. Then Rosenberg came in. Gave up 4, but struck out 5. Meanwhile, Monty shut him down. Yeah. There is a very good chance the offense isn't there. And then the lefty hitting has to be there.
Yeah, I guess that's the... If you're a Yankee fan, you have the sweet memories of 2022 Trevi catching the All-Star game, and he was hitting 252, 299, 714 OPS, which, again, for catchers, that's if you're doing that and you're winning the Platinum Glove, you are a plus ball player. In his second half of that year, he went down to a 626 OPS, and then he rounds off last year Where, again, he was hurt the whole year, so hopefully we can throw a chunk of that out. But, Trevi's hitting peaks are hopefully versus lefties, and then, you're kind of hoping for that one time on base versus righties if he's out there.
Yeah, do something. I want to pull up catcher stats from last year just so our audience knows what we're comparing to. But the problem is there's a lot of catchers with some thump in their bats these days. It's actually a little bit of a hitting position currently.
Catcher offense is a little bit back.
Yeah, kind of wild. You got Sean Murphy, the Contrerases, Adley Rutschman, all 800 OPS last year. Will Smith, 797. Not quite there, Will. 3 points.
You're better than that.
Yeah, so actually, no, catchers do hit, so it's actually a tougher even task for Trevi to be the stat line you just read for the All-Star game. Remember, catchers, and that was true for a really long time. If this continues, catching all of a sudden, we're going through a little bit of a window of hitting.
Yeah, those are, and within those guys, William Contreras got benched for not being good enough defensively. And only one catcher with 25-plus homers last year, Cal Raleigh, big dumper. So I don't know. It's how much are you getting put out there? What position are you putting your team in? And he should be.
God damn, Gary Sanchez, top 10 defensive run saves last year.
How about that? Interesting. Interesting.
Let's not.
And luckily for Booney, a bunch of line to questioning he'll dodge, or doesn't even need to dodge, because they'll be like, who is the starting catcher?
Who is the starting catcher?
They'll say Trevi, with Wells playing a ton, but they face Framber on opening day, so they get a lefty.
Yep. But I think Boone would do that anyway, because that was one thing I remembered in an article I read that was reflecting back on DJ and the Yankees. It said that in 2018, or did Cashman say this to us on the podcast? I think Cashman said it to us on the podcast, that DJ started on the bench of 2018 because Boone wanted to pay respect to the players that were on the team last year and went to the playoffs and stuff. So I do think there's some even if it was a righty, Trevi might get the start.
Oh, he would be. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. He would get it. It's just a respect thing. But season goes right. I think it's 50-50 platoon games, and Wells gets more at-bats. But Trevi's there at the end.
Okay. DraftKings, they'll be there in the end. And it's about time to head to the ballpark and root for the home team as baseball gets underway. And right now, all new customers will get $5. Oh, who bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. My goodness.
My goodness.
That's when you use code YANKS. Use those $150 in bonus bets however you want. They got their DraftKings same-game parlays for even bigger payouts. So why don't you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now? New customers use promo code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code YANKS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Random video alert. It comes against Griffin Canning and the Angels. I think it's not a great one, though. Okay. So I might have to hit it again. Just a called strike.
Yeah. But he
it was a
didn't
show
need that.
take.
It was a show take?
He didn't need that.
Looked confident.
I mean, I know we already did Grisham's PPP.
Sure.
But talk about show takes. Oh, okay. Interesting. We open up this video with Oswaldo Cabrera's dad in the crowd. And then Trevi. Is that another show take?
That was low.
Could have been called either way, you know.
Okay. All right. Those are the random videos.
Okay. So he's working on his eye this season.
Damn.
Baseball Reference has Jose Trevino with 319 plate appearances.
Okay.
9 home runs, 240 batting average, 286 on base, a 665 OPS, and that's at a 72% reliability.
Well, that's similar to his 2022 final numbers. What were the plate appearances?
330, 319.
I think it's going to be lower than that if Wellesley's playing well.
Yeah, if he gets like any stretch where he like gets a couple weeks.
What was Higgy's plate appearances in 2022? I'll check.
The Higster.
2022, Higgy had 248.
So I think
that's a little high.
You end up in the ballpark either way, kind of.
275, 275 would be like an even split.
Yeah, I guess we expect them to be bottom of orders no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, so 275, 275, 300, 250. Which way is it going to go? That's a good over-under. Will Trevino have more plate appearances or less plate appearances than Austin Wells? Will Jose Trevino be the catcher with the most plate appearances on the Yankees? Yes or no?
I would lean yes. Just because of like the Yankees sign of respect type deal.
And like Wells didn't have that much time in AAA. So like if Wells has a bad time, there's like
chance he goes down.
Chance they're like go get a month in AAA or something.
Wells kind of has to hit to play. Trevi doesn't.
Yes, that's true. Glove don't slump.
Even 2022, Trevi was only 353 plate appearances. They were splitting time.
Splitting time.
I think I'd take Trevino as well. If you gave me a like an over-under like 50 more plate appearances, I think I'd take the under. I think it's going to be close.
About even.
Should be tight.
Yeah. But he does work well with the staff. And relievers are going to be nasty. I think he's going to get a lot of close games. So that's just right.
And like the days Trevi has a game, he has the full game.
Yeah.
Or like Wells is like.
Well, no, Wells might come in. But then you lose Trevi.
If they have the lead, they're going to keep Trevi in.
It's true. If they're down, they need the pop, and then they just let Wells do it. Okay, interesting. Leave your comment.
Verdugo drives in Glaber.
Cool hits, left on left.
Get used to that. Okay.
Think they talk?
Yes. Similar ages, right?
Yes.
Swagger hounds.